Duke and Duchess of Hypocrisy cannot keep their lies straight. Meghan and Harry have changed their story about the royal racists so many times we don't know what we're supposed to believe. Hello everyone, welcome back to the King YouTube channel. Well folks, unless you've been in a coma for the past day or so, I'm sure that you know the cat is out of the bag. We now know the names of the mysterious royal racists Meghan and Harry talked about in the Oprah Winfrey interview. So primarily she was talking about Charles, and supposedly Catherine also said something. Do we believe it? Well, absolutely not, but Scooby-Doo did print it in that Dutch edition of his book. Now, I've been reading on Twitter, apparently the Italian and the Spanish versions also contain the name, so him trying to act like this was some accident is ridiculous. Just own up to it, Scooby-Doo. And thanks to the good people over at The Sun, Sarah Grealish and Matt Wilkinson, we're also looking at how many times Meghan and Harry changed their story about the royal racist. They're running a story with the headline, Royal Tales, all the times Meghan and Harry's racist royal story changed as two family members named in book translation error. I love this. Fans have been left confused as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's racist royal story appears to have changed a number of times. I think confused is a really nice way of saying fans are calling out their BS because we're not confused in the least. And we know they're not confused either, they just can't remember the lies they've already told. That's why they're so incredibly inconsistent. I mean, they lie so often they cannot keep up with it. Because you know, if you want to be a good liar, you gotta have a good memory. The trouble with Meghan and Harry, though, is they have used so much alcohol and so many drugs in their lives, their memories are absolutely shot. And they just assume that we're in the same boat. No, you two, we have memories. We do remember your lies. We're keeping track. So, of course, the whole thing started during the Oprah Winfrey interview when Meghan and Harry claimed that a member of the royal family, who they refused to name at the time, made comments about how dark an unborn Archie's skin color would turn out to be. After that, of course, the royal family got called racist, and William even spoke out, saying we are very much not a racist family. Later on, naturally, Harry and Meghan changed the story. But anyway, let's look at the specifics. Originally, the allegation was made in an interview with Oprah back in March of 2021. So Oprah was asking Meghan why the royal family did not want to make Archie a prince, and she said there were, quote, concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born, and, quote, what that would mean or look like. She continued saying there were several conversations about it with Harry, but she refused to name who the royal racist was because she said it would be very damaging to them. Meghan clarified that was relayed to me from Harry. Those were conversations that family had with him. I think it was really hard to be able to see those as compartmentalized conversations. But then when Harry was asked about the incident, he couldn't even stick with Meghan's story. Instead, he claimed that it happened before they even got married. He said, that conversation I'm never going to share, but at the time it was awkward. I was a bit shocked. No, I don't. I'm not comfortable with sharing that. Harry also didn't do a very good job of making it seem like anything racist was really said. He said the question was posed like, what will the baby look like, or what will the kids look like? Harry said, but that was right at the beginning when she wasn't going to get security, when my family were suggesting that she carries on acting because there was not enough money to pay for her and all this sort of stuff. There was real obvious signs before we even got married that this was going to be really hard. So then, right after the interview aired, of course, people were speculating, who was it? Who said this racist comment about Archie? Well, Harry wanted to make sure that nobody thought it was either of his grandparents, and Oprah said he did not share the identity with me, but he wanted to make sure I knew, and if I had an opportunity to share it, that it was not his grandmother or grandfather that were part of those conversations. He did not tell me who was a part of those conversations. All right, so then we didn't really hear anything about these conversations for a while until after Harry had published his book earlier this year. And then all of a sudden, he's out there claiming that he and Meghan never said that any member of his family was racist, that it was all media spin. It was during the 90-minute interview with Tom Bradby that Harry claimed they never made any racism accusation. So Bradby had asked Harry to elaborate on the Oprah interview in which, quote, you accused members of your family of racism. And Harry's response was, no, I didn't. I mean, even Bradby was shocked. I mean, Harry tried to pass the blame onto somebody else, as always, saying the British press said that. Harry, no, they didn't. You said that. And then Harry made things even worse by asking Bradby, did Meghan ever mention that they're racist? And Bradby repeated exactly what Meghan said, that there were troubling comments about Archie's skin color. So Harry's response was there was concern about his skin color, and then he was asked, wouldn't you describe that as essentially racist? And Harry responded, I wouldn't, not having lived within that family. So then Harry tried to cover his tracks by suggesting that it wasn't racism, it was unconscious bias. And he said they can learn and grow and be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. And then he also said again that he is never going to talk about who made those comments about Archie's skin color. Okay, so then earlier this year, the Telegraph broke a story. Sources were claiming that Meghan wrote a letter to King Charles over the racism and the bullying, as she called it, in the royal family. And reportedly, the king was disappointed that Harry and Meghan felt like they had to make these really harmful allegations. Charles was the only senior member of the family, according to The Sun, to contact Meghan after the interview. And it's thought that Meghan replied to Charles saying that she never wanted to accuse the senior member of the family, who the letter supposedly names, of being racist. And it is understood that both the king and Meghan acknowledged that the individual's remark wasn't made with any malice. Meghan went on to say that she was only raising concerns of unconscious bias in the firm before thanking Charles for his kind words. So now fast forward to Endgame. Scooby-Doo's book Endgame revealed that in private letters Meghan wrote to the king, Meghan did indeed name 2 members of the royal family who she claims took part in these conversations. Now, the identity of the 2 people was not supposed to be revealed in the book, according to Scooby-Doo. I don't believe this for a second. But anyway, supposedly there was an error in printing in the Dutch edition, and that's why the names are out there. I'm going to spare you the trouble of having to search for them again. Again, it is Charles and Catherine. Do we believe that Charles maybe said something wondering what Archie was going to look like? Sure, but again, it wasn't a racist comment. And Catherine, no, I'm sure her role in this whole mess is completely made up. Honestly, I get the impression that Catherine doesn't say much when it comes to Harry and Meghan. She doesn't care that much about them at the end of the day. She's focused on her work. She's focused on her family. Why is she going to make some racist comment about Archofficial before he's even born? Catherine is one smart cookie. She watches what she says. She's careful with her words. She's not going to risk getting herself into trouble by making some comment about Meghan's unborn baby. At most, she might have said something positive like, oh, I bet he's going to be really cute. Biracial babies usually are. I mean, honestly, I don't even believe she said that, but if she said something, I think it was along those lines. So Scooby-Doo, of course, is denying responsibility for the Dutch translation of the book Endgame, accidentally naming a member of the family. Now, the publisher is claiming they are trying to remove the book from bookshelves, saying there had been an error. And apparently now they've done some really quick reprint, and they released a statement saying the rectified edition of the book is going to be in bookstores on Friday, the 8th of December. Xander temporarily removed the book from sale due to an error that occurred in the Dutch edition. Speaking to Dutch TV last night, as reported by The Sun, Scobie defended his book, saying, "The book is in several languages, and unfortunately I do not speak Dutch. But if there are translation errors, I'm sure the publishers will have it under control. I wrote and edited the English version. There's never been no version that I've produced that has names in it." So we still don't know how exactly this mistake, this error occurred, but something tells me it was not an error. This was completely intentional. But the question is, who has the most to gain from this intentional error? Because it looks to me like Scooby-Doo has removed Meghan and Harry's last blackmail card. At this point, what can they possibly hang over the heads of the royal family? They've got nothing. Now, does this mean that Scooby-Doo and the Sussexes have had a falling out? Probably not. But it could mean that at the end of the day, Scooby-Doo is also a narcissist, and he's in it for himself. You see, people like Meghan and scabies have no honor, they have no loyalty. They are perfectly willing to throw each other under the bus whenever it suits them. And I suspect that Scooby-Doo wanted the glory. He wanted to get all the attention from revealing the names of the royal racists. And so he took that opportunity away from Meghan Markle. What's going to happen, though? Is he going to be sued? Well, we're just going to have to stay tuned and watch. It's unclear now what the fallout is going to be, but trust me, friends, there will be some fallout. And you, do you believe there was a publishing error or Scooby-Doo wanted to put those names in? Please let me know your opinion below in the comments section. If you enjoyed our video today, don't hesitate to like and share with anybody else who would like it too. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.